town of the good, the bad, and the weird. You either live by the gun, or you die by the sword.
Welcome to the Good, the Bad, and the Weird MicroViews. I'm Nico.
And I'm Chris.
And this MicroView, we continue Nic Cage November with another Cage-adjacent movie. The, so highly praised family favorite movie, 2009's G-Force.
Not to be confused with G-Force Guardians of Space, according to Wikipedia.
Wait, what?
Apparently that's another movie. But no, this is, you kind of vaguely remember, it's the one where the guinea pigs are all spies. You remember this one, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is a Disney movie,
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, and I'm a little conflicted about this one, because CGI-wise, this one's not terrible. It looks fine. It's a kid's movie, but
for a 2009 semi-realistically animated kids movie?
Yeah, like, it all aged together, so there's not, like, one section that's worse than another. It's all kind of equally bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
It's a full-length movie. It has big stars in it. It's got lots of action, lots of funny lines. On paper, this movie should have done really well.
I disagree, but for those unfamiliar with G-Force, it's about a secret group of guinea pigs that set out to save the world. That's the basic premise. There's also a bunch of other talking animals, but like...
Yes, but all of them are rodent adjacent?
Yeah, I don't know. Are moles rodents?
Technically, I don't think so.
I'll look it up real quick.
Okay.
They are not moles. They are part of the Insectivoria family.
There you go. Not a rodent.
Not a rodent. But most animals are a rodent besides the fly, who's very, very forgettable.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot there was a fly in this movie.
Yes. It's mainly guinea pigs and one random hamster.
Yes, and 3 mice and a mole.
What do the mice do? I don't remember them.
They stand in the background making annoying noises.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're small furry animals.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
So G-Force is directed by Hoyt Yeatman, who I love his last name.
Yes.
With screenplay by Cormac Wimberly and Maureen Wimberly of National Treasure fame.
Of course.
With the story by Yeatman and David P.I. James. It stars Zach Galifianakis, Sam Rockwell, Tracy Morgan, Penelope Cruz, Nic Cage, and Edwin Lois, as well as a handful of other people that there's too many to call.
Boy, that's a lot of big names for a very forgettable movie.
Yes. And this is the only film Yeatman's directed. Well, this movie was Yeatman's directorial debut.
Oh, no.
And currently only feature film, but he has been involved with special effects specifically. He was the special effects supervisor on movies such as The Fly, A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and 4,
Okay.
The Abyss, but more importantly, uncredited on Con Air and The Rock.
Okay, so, more Nic Cage films.
Yeah, and also a lot more impressive films than this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, as James is about the same, as this is his only writing credit, but he's also done visual effects for movies such as Transformers, 50
Nice.
First Dates, Kangaroo Jack, The Princess Diaries.
All good movies.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's a weird star-studded cast movie, and just...
It is. It is a lot of big names, but none of them have particularly distinct voices. So, not in the way that, like, if I was to watch this blind, I would go, hey, is that so-and-so?
No, Tracy Morgan stands out pretty heavily, and so does Penelope Cruz, I'd say.
Penelope Cruz, I would agree with. Tracy Morgan, a bit.
Yeah.
A bit.
Nic Cage, on the other hand, it took me a while to figure out who he was. I had to look up the credits of who he was even in this movie.
Yes, same.
Because the only reason I found out about this movie, or re-found out about this movie, is because this is back when I was still trying to pick up all the Nicolas Cage movies, still am, but...
There's a lot.
Less so now, but yeah, this was how I stumbled upon this, delightful piece of cinema.
Yes, because his name is credited to it quite easily. Like, people put all of the stars' names onto this movie and like, oh, have you seen it? It's got so-and-so and so-and-so. Like, the list goes on. And yet, it is near impossible to point to which guinea pig and tell me who played what.
Yeah.
With one singular exception, and that is the only female guinea pig.
Yeah, which... I'll get into that in a minute.
Okay.
I have a lot of questions about the movie. Mainly, who the hell greenlit this thing?
Oh, I have no idea.
And I mean,
it's not even bad in the way that like a bad Disney movie is, because those are at least like, I love a bad Disney movie. This isn't technically a bad Disney movie. This is just a so lukewarm, it's boring movie.
It is such a mediocre movie, and I'll get into some of the reasons why it's like so lackluster in comparison to a lot of it.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
From the very beginning.
Yes. From literally the opening line of this film.
Like, okay, I can kind of understand it. There's like years before Cats and Dogs, like that kind of.
See, okay, but at least Cats and Dogs is a arguably bad movie, but it's memorable. Yes, it's full of bad one-liners, but a lot of those one-liners were fairly like new and fresh. They weren't like repeats from other movies or quotes from other movies. A lot of the scenes were so batshit crazy that you at least remembered them after you'd seen the movie.
Well,
you might not remember what happens, but you at least remember the evil snowball cat being put into lots of outfits at the end.
I do not. I don't think I've ever actually seen
Cats
and Dogs. I just know of it, and I remember I started a while back ago. I was listening to an episode of We Hate Movies talk about it.
Yes. Don't worry, do not put this high on your list if you haven't seen it. But it had enough scenes that were kind of like Austin Powers, where it is so far into goofiness that it at least is rememberable. Yeah,
the trailer has enough for me to remember it also as a kid. I remember little things here and there, and I've seen parts of it, but I've never fully seen it, because I was at that age where I was getting out of those kind of movies. Not that I ever was into them, but...
Yeah, no, I totally understand.
Yeah.
This movie, while chock full of theoretically funny one-liners and over-the-top stunts, none of them are... They don't stand out. None of the lines are particularly witty or special to this movie.
No.
They're all just puns on rodents or guinea pigs or special agents.
And it's also stuff of the time, too. Like, it's all slang that's easily forgettable. Like, oh yeah, that's right, they did say that back in high school in 2009.
Yes, but it's never, like, big overarching slang that's used. It's just very niche, like 5-year window sort of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, on top of it, like, it starts off relatively action packed, and then you find out that they're a special division that they just went out to fuck with a 2-year case to prove that their rodent services are necessary.
Yes, and something that, like, there's a lot of leeways for kids' movies as far as, like, logic. Just because, like, we have a group of guinea pigs going to be spies, there's going to be some holes in the plot.
Oh, yeah.
That's just gonna happen.
Well, there's holes in the movie because there's a mole named Speckles. This is Cage's role as the stupid mole.
Yeah, who I would never have been able to point to Speckles the mole and been like, aha, it's Nic Cage.
Which I think gives credit to, like, his acting ability.
Yes, and, like, it's not, like, no one's performance is that bad. Like, I've definitely watched much worse voice
Tracy
acting.
Morgan's just being Tracy Morgan.
Yes, very much so. No, the biggest question that I think even children would have, and the movie even says it out loud, is this man has single-handedly found a way to communicate with animals and train them to be secret agent level things, and the government isn't interested and just is like, go home. Leave.
It's just basically Dr. Dolittle.
Yeah, but okay, so at least with Dr. Dolittle, there was no one else could understand the animals. It was just Dr. Dolittle translating for people what the animals said. Which, that, at least in movie world, is easier to be like, oh, might be a crazy man.
He kind of does that too, because I don't think any of the other people hear these animals besides Zach Galifianakis' character, because he's always translating for them. Him and his assistant.
Yes, at least 2 people, and, like, they play video games. Like, difficult video games.
Yeah.
They operate cars. They do gymnastics. And at no point is the government like, hey, even if we can't understand the guinea pigs, maybe we could use the guinea pigs for something. No. The movie itself is outrightly goes, wouldn't it be cool if we did that? But we're not going to.
Yeah.
Screw these guinea pigs.
Well, and I mean, on top of it, like...
We have a mole that can hack into a computer system. A star-nosed mole can hack into a computer system and present a PowerPoint presentation to the CIA, and they're not impressed.
I mean...
I would be impressed if the mole could click the button.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. It's just such a stupid premise that it's like...
At least with cats and dogs, like, yes, it was stupid, but, like, they had their own division, and, like, it was kind of given stupid missions, because it's, you know, the dumb cat and dog division, and yeah, it's over the top because it's a kid spy film, and you have to have cool spy gadgets and a cool spy lair. That's, like, it's part of the kid fun franchise, right?
Yeah, and I mean, bringing that up, this guinea pig condo, like, their entire operation is, like, some backwoods warehouse that has been completely forgotten by the CIA. I feel what happened and what got this set up. It's one of those stupid, like, filler things for, like, a bill that's like, oh, we're gonna allocate $100,000 to the research of training guinea pigs to be spies.
Yeah, and if they had, like, bothered at all to go down even the most, like, minute bit of being like, yeah, it's a forgotten program, and, like, they didn't think anything would come of it. We thought at best we would have guinea pigs for, like, kind of like how we currently have, like, weasels that do small tasks. Like, yeah. But at the same time, like, really, we have guinea pigs that can do this and we're not interested at all?
I think that's a really good point because, and I'm starting to come along to, like, understanding, like, how our B movies don't compare to, like, B movies in other countries.
Yes.
Obviously, specifically Japan, for me.
Of course.
Shocking. And not shocking, Takashi Miike movie.
Okay, there it is.
I was watching Yakuza Apocalypse the other day, and it's a batshit crazy movie.
Yes.
And also I was watching, Sion Sono's, Why Don't You Play in Hell?
Uh-huh.
And they're over the topness. The reason they do it so well is because it's still... They're able to, like, make it feel like it's part of our world, but they're able to carve out, like, a niche where it's believable.
Where, like, everything happens in, like, this is normal.
Yeah, it's like they set up rules for it and make it acceptable, because here's the thing. I'm going to spoil this movie right away.
Oh, what?
Because this is the most baffling thing, because we spend, like, an hour of this movie talking about these guinea pigs, and Zach Galifianakis' character is like, oh, here's how we selectively bred you. We've trained you. We picked you from the best of the best of the best, sir.
Yes.
They are regular fucking garden mill pet store guinea pigs.
One of them literally was picked out of someone's dinner plate.
They all are.
Yeah,
sorry.
They each have a different backstory of sadness. Do not forget that.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Juarez was almost eaten, which actually I actually asked my cousin Riley about this. Yes. Shout out to you, Riley. He tried them in Peru, and he said they were actually pretty good.
I can understand that. I mean, chicken's good. They're about the same size as chickens.
Well, my brother wanted to get them when he was in Peru, too, and, like, they didn't have anywhere he was at, so...
Bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like, each of the guinea pigs and the mole have a tragic, sad backstory. It's slightly different, but all tragic, but none of them are actually special. And so I guess the moral of the kid story, because of course there has to be one. We've talked about this before. Kid stories have to have a moral of some kind. Is that you're special no matter what, but are we saying that all guinea pigs in this universe can do this stuff?
Yes. Even the fat, slobby uncle Hurley, or brother Hurley.
Brother cousin?
Brother cousin. They're guinea pigs.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it is implied, because they go to a pet shop, that normal pets, as we know them today, exist. And that is how people expect pets to be.
Yeah.
And yet we are being told that no, guinea pigs can do all this stuff. They can repel down buildings.
Yeah.
They can drive cars.
Drones. Giant hamster, or
they can hack
a little bit larger than average hamster wheel vehicles.
Yes, they can hack into computer mainframes.
Excuse me, that is the mole.
The mole can hack into computer mainframes. I apologize. They do push-ups, which I guess a real guinea pig might be able to do, but like I've never seen a guinea pig trained to do push-ups.
And in that train of thought, it just...
And nobody...
sorry, real quick. Because in that train of thought, like, Juarez, they tried so hard to make her a sexy guinea pig.
They did. The only thing they could have done to make her even sexier of a guinea pig was to have added more boobs to her.
Yeah, no.
And then she already has boobs.
Yeah, which I don't get this movie. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, you know how in Pokemon, like, they always make that one Pokemon, like, Salazzle and Salandit, the lizard that only evolves when it's a female into, like, the
sexy furry
the semi, like, voluptuous, wide-hipped lizard.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
I appreciate that they didn't go any further than they already did on that one. So,
yes, but also, like, at least with Pokemon, they know exactly what the fuck they're doing, and they can't pretend that they don't.
No.
They know exactly what they're doing when they release new voluptuous Markiplier-approved Pokemon.
Next week, I swear to God, if they release it and the cat is fucking standing up, or any of the beginners are anthropomorphized,
oh yeah,
I'm gonna be so goddamn pissed.
No, the fire cat that turns into like a hot dad bod wrestler guy, so mad about that. He was so cute at the beginning, and then he just gets weird, and I feel like I have to call him sir.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just
okay, but in animation, this is a long-standing problem and complaint of it has covered general anthropomorphized animation since the dawn of time.
Yeah.
And that is, we get a cool-looking character for the guy, and the girl always has extra lashes, hips, and boobs.
Mm-hmm.
For no goddamn fucking reason. I will say that at least in this one, while she is unnecessarily sexy, we didn't go as hard as we could have. We didn't go full Pokemon.
No.
But we did go over the already, like... Because, like, at least normally we get, like, eyelashes. And that's like, oh my gosh, they didn't give her boobs.
They didn't go too far.
They went pretty far.
They got to a point in this one.
No, in G-Force, I would argue that we didn't go into Pokemon territory, but we camped on the edge.
But we went enough to potentially awaken some child's weird now fetish.
Well, and like, I don't care if your animal-based children's film needs to have some form of stupid romance. Do I think it's necessary? No, it's a kid's film about superheroes.
Yeah.
But like, if we're going to put it in there, I don't really care. Why is it such... It's not even a plot point. Why is it such a sticking point?
Yeah.
For this gosh darn movie.
I don't...
They spend too much time worried about who she likes.
Yeah, well, that's her entire character. Is she's using, what's their names? I'm gonna actually pull up their names. She's using Darwin as a way to get to, Blaster.
Yes.
Which...
And then at the end, they're like, well, who do you like? And she's like, both of you. But also neither of you. Ha ha ha. Feminine wiles. It doesn't end in any romantic relationship of any kind. All it does is make her seem weird.
Yeah,
especially compared to everyone else, because like everyone else is like fairly stereotypical action character, and it just felt like, oh well, you need a sexy lady. She can be the sexy lady.
Yeah, and just like the whole everything about them too, outside of just like their roles, is like all the little stupid details of like them going to take showers.
Yes.
Also, what the hell is their condo?
I don't know.
And who the fuck is reading Juarez's blog?
Someone, for sure. I don't know who, but somebody is reading that shit.
I don't know. Also, that dates this movie quite a bit to the era of everyone had a blog.
Yeah, and like sometimes the whole blog trope isn't necessarily bad. I feel like there are certain shows or movies that do it well.
Yeah.
Like, a good example is the BBC Sherlock.
Okay.
In that one, instead of having Dr. Watson be a book writer for the magazine or the newspaper, he has a blog.
Yeah.
And, like, that works. It's fine. Does it date the movie? Yes, but, like, I
Yeah.
don't care.
Well,
This one, there is no goddamn point. Like, it's not improving anyone's character. It doesn't full the plot anyway. Like,
no.
it doesn't even have, like, ammunition for the bad guy to use.
No, it just adds extra bullshit to try and make this movie real, but it makes it even worse. Cause like that's the thing. I would have believed this a little bit more if their condo was like an actual like guinea pig palace.
Yes, that'd be hilarious.
Instead, it's like a miniature like cross section apartment.
It reminds me, and I don't know if you've seen this. Have you seen the movie version of Rent, the musical?
I don't think I've seen either.
Okay. So in the movie version, one of the ways to portray that they are all in a high-rise renting out of the same building and having problems is like there's a few shots of like a section of the building and you can like see dollhouse style into it. That's what this is, but for guinea pigs. And very good music.
But it's not though. It's not a representational section cut. It is legitimately like a section cut.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
Yeah, I don't.
The one thing I will give credit to this film for is their study of guinea pig form and anatomy is really good. The guinea pigs look very much like guinea pigs despite being anthropomorphized a little bit.
It's better than Click.
It is better than Click. And, like, they get a lot of small details right, like having the noses twitch, having eyes move without having too much white showing, having ears,
Yeah.
Like, with the exception of the backflips, like, there's a lot of good representation of guinea pig.
I mean,
which is good, because, like, let's be real, there's not a whole lot of guinea pig representation in movies.
Actually, I can only
think of one other guinea pig in TV show and movie, and that's from that, like, little kids TV show.
I can think of a series of movies named Guinea Pig.
Those don't count. Those do not count.
No, they
You
don't.
remove them. You take those words right back out of your mouth.
They're called guinea pig. I mean, technically, the people in the movie are guinea pigs.
Yeah.
Technically,
and then like
in the same way the people in Human Centipede are guinea pigs.
Well, and then there's a lot of like smart-ass one-liners referencing other movies in this, and one of them is like referencing the fact that they are guinea pigs and we should use them as guinea pigs, but that doesn't go anywhere. They drop them off at a pet store, and like we don't explore, because like one of their backstories is that one of them was like a hair product tester.
Yeah.
Like why could like. There's no risk.
Yeah, well, and
this world domination plot is almost not a problem.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense either. It's like, oh, everyone's gonna buy this one stupid cappuccino machine that's a killer robot. It's like, there's hundreds of cappuccino machines out there. This is the one that everyone's gonna buy.
And also, like, cappuccino machine is a very specific market of people.
Yeah.
Not everyone who drinks coffee buys a cappuccino machine.
And I don't even drink coffee, so, it's...
Like, there is so much room for improvement, because I do like the idea of a kids show based around a guinea pig, like, task force.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you have the backyard, or what, no, it's not the backyard, it's Super Pals or whatever it is.
That's the other guinea pig I can think of.
Okay.
But yeah, like, and like, we know that kid movies based off of superpowered pets does well.
Mm-hmm.
And there isn't a whole lot of guinea pig or even hamster or gerbil like size pets. Like 9 times out of 10 it's a dog.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the time it's a cat. Yeah, it would be awesome to have like a small rodent task force. It doesn't need to be a full-on movie.
I'm pretty sure there is a guinea pig in Hamtaro.
There is a guinea pig in Hamtaro. Yes, okay.
Yeah. But it's hard to remember that one.
It is. But that's something that Hamtaro did well. Is that like Hamtaro's problems in solving them was hamster-sized.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, some of the times you'd be like, oh no, the people will be affected by this poor hamster-sized problem. But 9 times out of 10, it wasn't a big deal. But that's why Hamtaro worked. That's why so many people loved Hamtaro, was because this idea of, like, oh, my pet has this secret life, and he does stuff.
Yeah.
We could have done that. This could have been that.
But they don't. Which... I have a lot of questions. One, I do understand the FBI agent's, like, response of, like, you guys have been doing what for 2 years?
Yeah, I can totally understand their upsetness. This does feel a little weird.
Who the hell sells a mole as a pet?
Not just any mole. This is a star-nosed mole. And as far as I'm aware, at least in America, you cannot just have one as a pet. Like, you can go out and grab one and, like, keep it. But it's like the same thing as me saying, like, I can have a possum for a pet. No, I can't. I can go take one and keep it in my house. But I'm not buying a possum from somebody.
No, exactly. It's just like, I don't know. There's a lot of confusing things. And the anatomy of some of this, or not the anatomy, some of the backstory. Because, like,
yes,
the Bucky the hamster.
Mm-hmm.
Why does he have a Canadian flag? And why is his, how is he part hamster?
Or not hamster, ferret.
Ferret.
I looked into that because it did bother me. He can't be. He cannot be part ferret.
No, because
they are different kinds of creatures.
Yeah, ferrets are carnivores.
Yeah, they're closer related to the cat family than they are to hamsters.
No, ferrets come from the European polecat that they bred to, like, go down holes and kill vermin.
Yes, and I think what they were trying to get at is, like, ferrets are, in this movie, meant to be more like stoats, kind of.
Redwall logic.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, well, the carnivorous one's clearly the bad guy, which I could have gotten behind, but he's not a bad guy.
No.
He's just off of his rocker. Yeah. And it would have made more sense for him to be like, you're right, my mother was my own sister. Like, that would have made more sense.
But you can't bring incest into a children's movie like that nowadays, or even in 2009.
No, but, like, we could have talked more about, like, proper responsible, like, getting your pets from somewhere responsible. So that you don't end up with this hamster. Yeah, because look at this hamster. He can't come out of his house. He has a line drawn in the ground that he can't go past.
Yeah. Also, why is he Canadian?
No idea.
Like,
absolutely no idea. And, like, I even looked into, like, are hamsters more popular in Canada? They're about the same as here. Like, they're not, like, tremendously more popular in Canada than they are here. Like, yeah, people have hamsters as pets, but it's not like, oh my god, in Canada, our favorite pet is the hamster.
Okay.
Like, I don't know.
It's just some stupid... It's like this entire movie is a... That's the thing. This entire movie is a bunch of stupid little details that make...
They don't really go together either.
Sense. Yeah, exactly.
Like, there is no reason for this hamster to be in the movie.
Yeah, well, and on top of that, like, guinea pigs only live about 4 to 8 years, so, like, you spend 2 years training it, you've got a couple years of good use of it.
And, like
if it survives the training, because they almost die on their first mission.
That's very true. And, like, yeah, guinea pigs do make good pets, but the task force missions that you're sending them on are, like, James Bond level missions.
Yeah.
Not guinea pig missions.
Yeah, they're just...
And, like, that was something that I liked about Cats and Dogs, is, like, yes, the spy aspect of Cats and Dogs was over the top, and they pulled a lot from, like, Mission Impossible and James Bond, but the quote-unquote, like, task for the cat or dog doing the spy reconnaissance work was more or less centered around cat and dog stuff. So it had, like, the biscuit factory was the battleground, or, like, the dog food plant.
And it wasn't, like, the cat's plan to take over the world by making everyone allergic to dogs or some shit?
Yeah, it was something really dumb like that. Where, like, yeah, we get to use all of our big stuff. Yeah, we get to go on a full-blown thing. This one is literally human world domination via appliances.
Yeah.
Which sounds dumb on paper, but, like, when you see it in the movie, you're like, this is too much for a guinea pig.
Yeah.
And not in, like, the, oh, we believe in you, you can do it, Avengers way. No, like, we need other people involved in this.
Well, and on top of that, the cappuccino machines are, like, Transformer level, like, crazy. Good luck shipping that anywhere else. Like, you send that through customs and the x-ray, it's like, why does this cappuccino machine have 20 razor blades and mini missile launchers?
And small arms.
Yeah.
Why does your cappuccino machine have arms?
It just makes absolutely zero sense.
No, and that's kind of disappointing, because, like, there are some details that are fun, like the hamster balls that they turn into cars. That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't hate that, and, like...
No, that's the thing. It goes back to my argument about the condo. It's like, the condo isn't guinea pig oriented, it's micro-human size instead of, like...
And, like, we could have done some work as far as, like, watching the lady that's in the movie, the, like, human assistant, who, like, is barely in the movie, but honestly, she's my favorite human in this movie, because she doesn't do anything.
I like the FBI agent who's just like, why the hell is this even happening?
I like him, too. I like that his punishment is to get sent to Antarctica at the end of the movie.
Will Arnett portrays him, by the way.
Yeah. I like that they are like, yeah, we've sent him to Antarctica. That's his punishment. He's... What? Why?
I mean...
Why is that the punishment?
aliens.
I guess.
Actually, I don't think we're allowed to technically send federal agents to Antarctica, but...
I feel like that's for research purposes only.
Yeah, no, that's...
Like they would be taking up room.
Yeah. Also, wait, no, he's part of the FBI.
Why is the FBI worried about Antarctica?
That sounds more like the CIA's job.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Yeah.
And the other bad guy is the mole, who, it's a kid's movie, so he feels bad and repents at the end. Fine.
Speckles is justified in his revenge.
I will give him that. I don't hate that logic.
No.
And they give him a good enough background.
But he's so barely in it at all to begin with, too.
He is kind of boring. And, like, we didn't spend a whole lot of time with this group of rodents-esque things, making them out to be, like, a family who sticks together. They just kind of exist in the same place, which doesn't necessarily mean that you're a family. It just means you're roommates.
It's not Fast and Furious family.
Yeah, if they had leaned more into Fast and Furious style nonsense, then I would have been like, yes, the mole's logic is flawless, it's fine. His punishment is to, by hand, take out all the microchips at the end. This feels like a bad punishment.
It feels like they just didn't know, like, how to actually end it.
How to put a mole in prison? Yeah.
Yeah, what would be mole prison?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. The other thing I do want to talk about in this movie...
Yes.
The entire goddamn soundtrack is just Black Eyed Peas.
Yes. It legitimately is.
Like, I don't even think they were that big in 2009. Like,
They had reached their... They were big in the way that, like, a middle schooler would finally know who the Black Eyed Peas are. But they aren't, like, nobody's favorite band was the Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah.
It wasn't, like, the hip new group coming out. And it also, like, wasn't quite dad rock. It was somewhere in between. Where, like, you know who they are, but, like, you're not excited. No one's buying tickets to the concert. Like, your friends aren't gathering around, like, oogling over the Black Eyed Peas and trying to figure out who's the cutest. No, they just existed and you lived with it.
I feel it was, like, the cheapest they could get that was somewhat knowable.
Yeah, like, that kind of feels like this whole movie is, like, what's knowable? Because the quotes are all either directly based off of other movies, like Fast and the Furious, or James Bond. Like, just blatant, like, obvious nods to other movies and franchises.
Mm-hmm.
The music is not really unique to the film. It's just Black Eyed Peas songs. The characters aren't necessarily, like, new, other than the fact that they're guinea pigs. They're all just stereotypes for pretty much any action film.
What I think would have made it better is if, like, they had the Black Eyed Peas at some point kind of, like, thrown in there as, like, some background cage animal or something. That would have
honestly improved it, yeah. If they had been the mice, that would have been great.
Yeah.
Because then the mice would have had a reason for existing.
Instead of just kind of being there.
Yeah.
Then forgettable, because now you bring them up, I do remember the mice.
Well, and see, we've talked about dumb background characters before, and, like, there are ways to do it where they're not useless. Like, the Three Blind Mice from Shrek. They are useless, but they have a certain level of comedy, and they're not in there so much.
Exactly.
But they are consistently reused.
Mm-hmm.
Without breaking their character, without adding anything, and they are their own group. They're not, like, a little, like, section of mimes that just follow the main character around.
Yeah. Well, what would have made them better is if those were the Black Eyed Peas, and then just, like, all they did was dance or some stupid shit.
That would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
Yes, I totally agree. That would have been much better.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's G-Force.
Yeah, honestly, like, and as someone who likes kids' films and bad kid films, this movie's not worth watching.
No, it's really bad. So, we come to that part of the show. Rent, buy, stream, or decline that you ever watched it despite having an audio recording of us watching it.
For the first time, I think, possibly ever, I'm gonna go with the last option of decline that I've ever seen it.
Same, even though I will own this because it is now part of the Nicolas Cage
We will have to put a sticky note over it warning people that this movie is terrible.
This is one of the ones that...
And it came with a lot of bonus features on the disc, too, which is upsetting.
Because here's the thing. So I'm trying to figure out the movie to get my friends' kids into.
This is not it.
That is Nic Cage adjacent. No, you're right, because it's not catchy.
It's not.
That's the issue. Is like, originally it was, I thought about this, and then I also thought about, like, The Croods.
The Croods is significantly better.
But The Croods is actually a pretty good movie.
The Croods is actually good, yes.
Yeah.
And even the, like, redone TV show version of The Croods, honestly not that bad. Not great TV watching, but, like, it's passable.
Yeah.
Like,
kids will enjoy it.
Yeah. G-Force, no, don't even bother. Like,
Oh,
no
yeah.
kid is going to be interested in this. It barely holds my attention, and I have the attention span of a toddler.
Yeah, this movie is just, it failed in so many different ways, and
It didn't even have explosions. Like, it had explosions, but they weren't explosive enough to even watch for the sake of explosion.
No,
There was no sparkly bit to catch my eye.
Yeah, which, thankfully, this movie is, a little over an hour and a half, if that?
Yeah, thankfully it's not super long, but it is long enough for you to, like, the middle drags on forever.
Yeah, once they're captured and sent out, it's just them trying to get back together for like a good half hour. And yeah, the movie's an hour and 28 minutes. So yeah, they spend a good
quarter of this movie.
Over a third of the movie, because like including credits and all that shit.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we're getting. Oh yeah, we have IMDb people hold up. All their stupid tools and stuff is just.
They're dumb, but like the tools were cool, and we don't spend that much time with the tools.
No.
The intro scene, honestly, not that bad, and then we just get stuck in a pet store for the rest of the film.
Yeah.
So dumb.
To be regular goddamn hamsters for a less than subpar movie.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. Anywho, this has been the Good, the Bad, and the Weird previews.
MicroViews?
MicroViews.
Close enough.
Did I say MicroViews at the beginning?
I believe you did.
I hope I did.
Oh,
well.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. All right. But anyway, thanks for listening.
Peace.
Thank you for stopping by this here town of the good, the bad, and the weird. We appreciate your listenership, and if you want more of our takes in your life, feel free to check us out on social media at The Good, the Bad, and the Weird Podcast, or TGTBTW for short. As well, if we missed a fact, your favorite part of a movie, or just have a suggestion and want to reach out and say howdy, feel free to email us at tgtbtwpodcast@gmail.com. And feel free to join our Discord at The Good, the Bad, and the Weird Podcast, where we talk about movies, just share random banter here and there. And always, check out our podcasters, streamers, or any other content creator we shout out in our episodes. We really appreciate it. And as always, thank you for listening. Peace.